We are live in Banjul, broadcasting for viewers in the Gambia and around the world. This is News at 1300 hours with me, Ibama Nsane. On our top stories, U.S. Ambassador to the Gambia, Richard Pascal, meets GRTS Director General to express gratitude for the institution's successful coverage of the U.S. elections. The Ministry of Petroleum and Energy, with partners, begins a nationwide campaign on efficient cooking solutions. In sports, Brikama Daru Hairu holds its annual Unification Festival, meant to promote peaceful coexistence. And in the internationals, Joe Biden swears in as the 46th President of the United States, taking over from Donald Trump. Opinions are divided in Nigeria over the impending introduction of the first batch of COVID-19 vaccine. This and much more coming ahead in the news. Do stay with us. As the National Assembly Select Committee on Lands and Regional Governments met council officials on the state of their activity and audited financial statements for the 2017, 18 and 19 due for submission at the Legislative House. After deliberations by CEOs of respective councils, members of the Select Committee expressed satisfaction on the level of achievement by councils for fulfilling the agreement in reducing the backlog of accounts not being audited by the National Audit Office. Usman Mane has more on that story.
An agreement between the National Assembly Committee on Lands and Regional Government and the local government authorities in collaboration with their line ministry in 2020, a compromise was reached for all councils to submit their draft financial statements for 2019 for auditing at the National Audit Office. This was meant to enhance accountability at councils since there were backlogs of years of reports not audited from 2017. The 8 local government councils should submit their activity, financial and GPPA reports for scrutiny, but delayed due to pending 2019 financial reports under auditing. The chief executive officers of all the councils highlighted the state of documents needed by the committee, of which the activity and financial reports for 2017 and 18 are already been audited by the NAO. Bakari Taraware from the National Audit Office confirmed these statements, but he however clarified issues surrounding the 2018 audited financial statement of Mansa Congo Area Council.
Congratulate all the councils for the fact that they've all submitted the 2019 financial statement to National Audit Office. For Mansa Congo, 2017, 2018, they have been audited up to 31st December 2018. Their CEO said they were not able to respond to the draft, but in our audit, when we send you the draft, we give you a deadline for you to respond. If you don't respond, if you don't get any feedback from you, we will finalize based on the issues on the draft.
Members of the committee commended the council for living up to expectations in fulfilling the requirements agreed upon. Honorable Musa Amul Nyasi is the chairman of the committee.
This is what we were all along advocating for. There is no way that it cannot happen. It must happen. And this is the starting point. We want to achieve beyond what you have achieved. The fact that the National Audit Office have confirmed that for the first time, the National Audit Office have received from councils what is called a financial statement, I think it's something that you should be proud of.
Honorable Nyasi further urged them to submit the audited reports in due course.
Your submission for all these reports for 2017 and 2018 must be on or before the 29th of January 2021, because you have reported to us that the reports, you have them, and they are ready. And the National Audit Office have also confirmed what you said.
To improve service delivery by councils, the Vice Chairman of the committee, Honorable Yakumba Jete, highlighted the efforts of members to increase the subvention of councils in the 2021 enacted national budget. This, he said, was based on councils submitting their development budget to the ministry and sought clarification from Permanent Secretary Buba Sanyang whether it has been fulfilled.
We have to commend one that like KMC, they always submit most of the time on time. But notwithstanding, we were able to go through all the budgets and then observe with the council some of the activities and programs that are to be adjusted. And then we are receiving now the final submissions to the minister for his endorsement.
P.S. Sanyang also disclosed that his ministry, supported by the UNDP, is implementing the IFMIS project across all councils to enhance financial transparency on public funds. Usman Mane, GRTS.
Still on the select committees of the National Assembly, the Public Enterprise Committee on Wednesday had the Public Service Commission to present their activity report and financial statement for 31st December 2019, but they were unable to do so. For details on that development, the chairperson of the select committee, Honorable Halifa Sallah, explains.
Today, we anticipated that the Public Service Commission will present its activity report and a report on its operations, because you cannot have an activity report without indicating how the Commission is doing financially based on what the allocation is on a year-by-year basis. Unless that is done, one would not know whether what is being provided is sufficient for the efficient delivery of the services of the Commission. But we are informed that because of some element of communication challenges, that the Commission did not expect to present this report today, even though they were anticipating some form of engagement. That is why we decided to engage the Commission to find out its wishes, because the presentation is material to our scrutiny, and it must be done when the presenter is fully prepared to do so. So in that regard, the committee met after consultation with the Commission chair and the team, and we do agree that the request of the chair should be honored to allow the Commission to be well prepared to deliver its activity report for the year ended 31st December 2019. So in that regard, it is proposed that the Commission be scheduled for the 2nd of March 2021 for both presentation and consideration.
The U.S. ambassador to the Gambia, Richard Carl Pascal, has called on the Director General of GRTS. Ambassador Pascal was at the state broadcaster to express his embassy's profound gratitude to GRTS for a successful coverage of the U.S. presidential elections. The meeting was characterized with presentation of a certificate of completion to Fatmata Sise of GRTS, who, with their other journalists, took part in the virtual coverage of the U.S. elections. Fatu Janembai reports.
Free press is vital in delivering fact-based information to citizens of any democratic state. The words of the United States Ambassador to the Gambia, His Excellency Richard Carl Pascal, to the senior management of the Gambia Radio and Television Services. Ambassador Pascal was at the state broadcaster to return gratitude to them for airing the recently concluded U.S. presidential election campaign activities, both on television and on radio.
But a free press is just vital. And part of that is obviously delivering fact-based information so that the citizens of any democracy can understand better the issues that are being debated and come to conclusions about where they want their government to go and where they want their society to go in the future. And so that critical role is probably more important now than ever. And I just express my appreciation to you, Director General, for your leadership of GRTS, and always look forward to partnering with GRTS in your different endeavors. And I think you know that I'm happy to always make myself available anytime you would like to get clarity on any issues related to American policy or the embassy.
The U.S. ambassador also seized the opportunity to reiterate the embassy's desire for a more fruitful partnership with the GRTS. On the home front, the U.S. 2020 presidential election coverage was done by Fatoumata Cissé of GRTS and 3 other journalists in the country.
We've been all been keeping a close eye on the elections as they unfold, and we all know it's very historic and a remarkable one. And of course, I want to thank you for coming here today, deliver all this good. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to my career. But above that, we've learned a lot as far as this particular coverage is concerned. Despite the fact that we couldn't be on the ground, but it has been something worthwhile, because the greatest minds in the United States, as far as the history and politics of the United States is concerned, have been brought to our doorsteps virtually, and then we've been briefed. As far as I am concerned, I do not have that basic understanding of the United States electoral process, but when I was given this opportunity, I managed to understand a lot, especially my favorite part, that's the Electoral College.
The U.S. Embassy Banjul office and GRTS has over the years enjoyed a mutually benefited relationship. Abdou Touré, the Director General, is determined to strengthen that.
Because the first time we heard about, the coverage of the U.S. election and the support, lent to GRTS to be able to cover it, we really, acknowledge and appreciate it. So Fatoumata is one individual who has been very hardworking, and she is multifaceted. She is doing a lot when it comes to, the delivery in terms of presentation and reporting. And we really want to thank Fatoumata for the sterling qualities they exhibited during that period, and also the support from the embassy to be able to roll out this important program. So it's a partnership that we are having with your institution, and we think we'll be able to achieve more with regards to the development of journalism in this country.
The U.S. elections were contested between the incumbent President Donald J. Trump and his rival Joe Biden, who emerged the winner to become the 46th President of the United States of America. He is being inaugurated today, Wednesday, the 20th of January. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Fatou Janembai.
United States Ambassador to the Gambia, Richard Kyle Pascal, has given an overview of what the new U.S. administration would be focusing on as Joseph R. Biden assumes office, becoming the 46th President of the United States. The ambassador has an interview with Fatoumata Cissé, and she began asking him what he makes of President Biden's inauguration, as the United States remains deeply polarized due to many compounding factors.
To grant us this interview, of course, on this historic occasion, that is the swearing-in of President-elect Joseph Biden, that will be taking place shortly in the United States. Now, briefly tell us what this moment means for America, one of the greatest countries in the world whose democracy has been tested in recent times.
First, thank you so much for having me here in the studio. I do appreciate the opportunity to see you again and to talk about this very important and historic day. I think this entire process has shown that the American people are passionate about their democracy. They're passionate about the issues that are confronting America as we look to the future. And I think that the record levels of participation of our electorate in the elections in November, and then the subsequent passions that came out, demonstrate that democracy is alive and well. This is a historic moment in the United States. Every 4 years is a historic moment as we celebrate a democratic and peaceful transition of power from one president to another. And this is no different. From that perspective, it was a very hotly contested election. Obviously, passions were very high. And certainly not just at the presidential level, the presidential election being very hotly contested, but really also seats in the House of Representatives and the Senate were also up for re-election this year. Many of those races were extremely close. Historic time in the state of Georgia as they elected their first African American to the Senate and the first Jewish American to the Senate as well. And across the country, we saw a far more diverse group of candidates that were running for office at all levels of government. And again, I think that shows that the democratic participation of American citizens in their democracy is very high.
Great. So having covered the US elections virtually and having listened to some of the interviews, one could paint a picture of somewhat a polarized country by virtue of the people expressing the desire for a president and that will come on board to unify the country, considering some of the happenings that have been taking place in the United States, such as the racial tensions. You look at the COVID-19 has been wreaking havoc in the United States, and of course the recently disputed United States election results. Now, tell us what we expect from a Biden-led administration in the first days, weeks, and coming months as they take lead to head the United States.
Well, that's an excellent question, and I think the President-elect Joe Biden and his Vice President-elect Kamala Harris have laid out an agenda for their first 100 days in office, which is not uncommon. Most incoming presidents do put on the table an agenda that they wish to pursue. The Vice President, or the President-elect, has made it clear that they have a number of actions they'll undertake quickly in the first handful of days. And of course, we'll be seeing those come into effect as they come into effect. Yes, there are a number of issues that are deeply polarizing in the United States, and I think I think one of the things that's really important to underscore that in any healthy democracy, it takes a competition of ideas, and that means coming to the table with others who may not agree with you, but putting out your vision or your plan for why you think your approach or your beliefs in a certain approach are more helpful to the country than someone else's, and that's where it needs to stay. Hopefully, as you sit around that table and have that civil debate, you can shake hands and part as friends. And that's something that is really important in a democracy, is that civil discourse. And
quickly, Biden is coming into the White House with a decade experience on the Capitol Hill. Well, of course, he's been representing his state, Delaware, for 36 years. And of course, he's played a crucial role in shaping the foreign policy of the United States. So considering that wealth of experience by the president-elect, and of course, looking at some of these strained relationships between the United States and other countries, do we expect a change in the U.S. foreign policy, and that is to say, in terms of reaching out to other allies that have started distancing themselves from the U.S.?
Well, I think the President-elect has made it clear that he intends to take a different approach in certain key relations, but that fundamentally our objectives in most of our critical foreign policy and national security areas remain the same critical objectives, and we have the same and shared critical concerns. And so even though perhaps some of the approach may change, where we are focusing our efforts and trying to shine a light on some of the really negative things happening in certain parts of the world, I don't see that changing at all. And more to the point specific to the Gambia, there's a very healthy and robust relationship between our two countries. It's not just between our governments, but between our people. There are strong people-to-people connections. I don't know that I've met a single Gambian in my almost 2 years here that doesn't have someone they know in the United States, a Gambian or someone, a Gambian American or a Gambian resident in the United States. And so we have these very strong ties. And our commitment to the Gambia and to the Gambian people is to support the effort to achieve a solid, democratically elected, accountable to the people government that serves the people itself, and that won't change. And then to partner, obviously, to create economic growth, to create jobs and opportunities for young Gambians as they come of age and join the workforce.
Right. So what do we expect to see in Washington today as the president takes the oath to become the 46th president of the United States?
Well, it's always a very ceremonial affair. It's very heavily scripted and doesn't really deviate much every 4 years. And so obviously the president will take the oath of office, the vice president will take the oath of office, and of course the president will make some remarks.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Cole, for taking time to talk to us at GRTS.
Sure, and thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
U.S. Ambassador Richard Karl Pascal there speaking to GRTS's Fatmata Sise. And now here is a presser from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad. The government of the Republic of the Gambia wishes to inform the public that it has on Tuesday, 12 January 2021, signed a cooperation agreement on migration matters with the government of Switzerland in the city of Bern. The dispatch states that the signed agreement is meant to curb irregular migration and ensure efficient protection of the rights of Gambian citizens who are migrants in Switzerland. The agreement, according to the release, will create cordial working relations between the government of the Gambia and the government of Switzerland in identifying opportunities, coordinating, and managing challenges of migration. These, the two countries believe, will further strengthen relations and deepen cooperation in effective management of migration, dealing with unemployment and creation of more opportunities for women and youth in the Gambia. The government of the Gambia further negotiated for all undocumented Gambian migrants in Switzerland to be trained in livelihood skills and be integrated in Swiss community. As the Gambia progresses in enhancing her democracy, there is need to ensure that the country adheres to international human rights instruments by respecting the laws of other countries, will also ensuring that Gambian citizens within and outside the Gambia enjoy the required protection of the government. In this regard, the government of the Gambia and the government of Switzerland agreed that all legal remedies will be exhausted before any voluntary returnees will be repatriated. The government of the Gambia further assures all Gambians that it is approaching migration as a developmental issue and that the signed cooperation agreement will also pave the way for the establishment of a multi-purpose skills training center and create other opportunities for young people to achieve their goals in the Gambia. Both countries, the release went on, agreed on the spectrum of modalities which serve as an enabling tool to ensure equitable and balanced intervention with a view to attaining dignified life for Gambians in Switzerland and Swiss citizens in the Gambia. Furthermore, as part of efforts to strengthen the excellent bilateral relations that exist between the two countries, and on the invitation of the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Mamadou Tangara, the Vice President and Federal Chancellor of Switzerland, Ignazio Cassis, is expected to visit the Gambia on Friday, 12 February 2021. The release ends. And now, the United Nations Industrial Development Organization and the Ministry of Petroleum have kick-started a nationwide campaign on efficient cooking solutions. The initiative promotes the use of energy-efficient cooking stove, locally called Furnu Jambar. By Ibrahim Cham is with the team and files in this report.
As the usage of charcoal and firewood increases at an alarming rate, posing detrimental health hazards to users, the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy is collaborating with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization in launching a nationwide campaign on the usage of efficient cooking solutions. The first port of call for the team was the nation's capital in Banjul, where 250 energy-efficient stoves and 100 Oryx gas bottles was distributed to various beneficiaries. With a bag of charcoal pegged at $400 in the Greater Banjul area, Kajeta Jallo of UNIDO confirmed that the energy-efficient cook stove, locally called Furno Jambar, burns less charcoal, thereby saving money and time.
We feel like it is high time that we innovate, come up with efficient cooking, improved stoves and alternative cooking fuel, not only for the health benefits but also for the economic benefit, because using these improved cook stoves are very, they will save you money, okay? Because when you cook with the cook stoves, and you use the alternative cooking fuel, you are using less briquettes. We call those fuel briquettes because they are made of peanut shells and coconut shells, and they do not emit a lot of smoke. I mean, they hardly emit any smoke.
Alaji Gay has been empowered to boost up production of the energy-efficient stove, thereby reducing the price to $500, which he says is 1/3 of the original price. The stove also reduces carbon emissions and the use of firewood, which is seen as one of the main causes of deforestation in the Gambia.
Another problem is because they're using wood to cook, either fuel wood or they use charcoal. And then, I mean, they are collecting it from our forest, so it's degrading the environment, and that will cause what we know as climate change. This climate change, the consequences are increased temperatures, sea level rise, flooding, drought.
Banjolians welcome the new development, which they say will help them in their daily activities.
Yes, I feel very happy. Before I used to buy 5 or 6 cups of charcoal, but for now I used to buy 3.
Birkama, Abuko and Kanifing Estate are the main outlets and sales points for the Furno Jambar. However, the campaign trail continues at Westfield Monument on the 21st of January 2020. Reporting for GRTS News, I'm by Ibrahim Cham.
Officials of Child Fund the Gambia with stakeholders converge to validate the organization's advocacy plan for the country. The objective is to protect children from harmful traditional practices such as child marriage and ensuring the enforcement of the policy banning the menace. Babasila reports.
Established to promote sustainable solutions to protect and advance the rights and well-being of all children to enjoy their rights and achieve their full potential. Child Fund is the leading defender of child's rights and welfare in the Gambia. Since its establishment in the Gambia, Child Fund has been advocating for children's rights and protection to especially shield the girl child from all forms of traditional practices such as early marriage and other harmful traditional practices. Today's convergence is meant to enable local partners in a consultative forum to review and adjust the organization-validated document ahead of its national implementation. Mfamara Dabo, the Director of Programs and Sponsorship, explained the broader objective of the organization advocacy plan for the Gambia.
So through the CBCPM, we were able to identify in consultation with community people a lot of issues that children are being faced with. So as an organization, we know we cannot address all the issues at the same time, but we then work with the communities to do some form of prioritization. And during the prioritization, we were able to do 2 community validations, because the issues that came out were many, and for us to be able to be sure as to which specific issue we should focus on, we need to at least exhaust all the different processes.
Working towards a safe world for children, Child Fund has also rolled out a strategic 5-year plan starting from 2016 to 2021 to support the implementation of national goals for children to achieve their full potential and attain their rights. Esa So is the chair of the National Civil Society Organization Advocacy Group.
Coming here as stakeholders to lay the necessary roadmap, framework, foundation to confront the recurring challenges or consequences of child marriage will go a long way to change the narratives in the next couple of years. So this is a very important engagement, and I implore on each and every one of us, we are not here, as we all know, in our own accord, but representing the image and identity and the principles governing our conduct in our respective offices, to spread the gospel and support this process now against 2023 to ensure that the narratives are changed.
The Child Fund Alliance seeks to become a global voice for children, highlighting challenges that affect them and issues they care about to effectively mobilize and address threats to their lives, safety, and well-being. For GRTS News, I am Baba Silla.
Imam Buhari Center for Islamic Studies and Humanitarian Development, in partnership with Guimam Eye Care Services, is providing free eye surgery for 100 patients at the Sheikh Zayed Regional Eye Care Center. Khadija Tujalo has more on that story.
Imam Buhari Center continues to partner with Guimam Eye Care Association to support vulnerable people access free eye care. 100 people, according to the president of Guimam Eye Care, are scheduled to undergo free surgery. 18 of them had surgery on Tuesday, and the rest will be treated in the coming days.
On the 23rd of this month, we will be in Fonyu block to render services to that community. And Imam Buhari is ready to finance cataract operation of 100 Gambians. Yesterday, most of these patients have already paid for their B-scan and their fasting blood sugar. We return them $300 each. We pay for their medication. We gave them eye drop, dexamethasone 2 bottles, Cipro 1, and we give them sunglasses free. We want to take this opportunity to thank Imam Buhari. We are ready. We are ready to use our leisure time to help Gambians.
Amaduba, an administrator and cataract surgeon at the Sheikh Zayed Regional Eye Care Center, held the partnership with Guimam and Imam Buhari. A move, he said, has helped a lot in helping to restore the eye vision of many beneficiaries.
About 18 cases, and they were operated yesterday. They were admitted yesterday, operated yesterday. They were admitted, and on Monday. So this morning, they were all reviewed. Alhamdulillah, they are all fine. All of them are very, very happy, and they are discharged, and they will be going home to meet their families. Sheikh Zayed could not have done it alone. Guimam cannot also do it alone, just likewise Imam Buhari. So it's like the three parties together have really come in, and we have to appreciate the financial part of it, because money is life. If once you get money, the finance is there, I mean, you can make a lot of things possible. So without them, it was going to be very, very difficult for the patients.
The PRO of Guimam, Eye Care, Sunkarubaji, and Katos Kijera, matron at Sheikh Zayed Regional Eye Care, expressed appreciation to the management and doctors of the hospital for their commitment and dedication to service. Beneficiaries of the eye surgery took turns to express gratitude to Imam Buhari and the eye specialists for making their dreams come true. President Imam Buhari, Muhammad Ibrahim Cisse, and PRO Babu Njai reiterated the organization's continuous support to the health of the populace.
We have our young doctors who are very, very much committed, who have the capacity, who have all the talents to do these things. This is why Imam Buhari will continue to partner with the hospital, and then we will try to assist you in all aspects, so that the pressure you have here at least will be reduced.
Sheikh Zayed Regional Eye Care continues to attract scores of eye patients from home and afar because of its benevolence. Khadija Tujalo reporting for GRTS News.
Time now to take our first break, and sports news is up next.
As the Gambia nears its 56th independence anniversary, GRTS, in observance of this important event in the nation's calendar, is proud to inform its partners and prospective clients that there is a massive discount on its regular tariff. Yes, buy a minimum of 10 slots of television or radio commercial or airtime and enjoy a massive discount of 25%. Yes, 25%. Enjoy this whopping discount commencing February 1st to February 28, 2021. Rush now to book a spot on your national television to reach wide and diverse audiences. For more information, call 437-8775 or 437-7214.
Welcome back. In sports, Brikama Daru Hairu has recently staged its annual Unification Festival that brought together members of Daru Ward to engage in different sporting activities in disseminating messages on social harmony. Famarabaji witnessed the colorful convergence and he tells us more.
At the community level, sports has the unique power to attract, mobilize and create an atmosphere where people can come together and work towards the same goal. Using sporting activities to build a peaceful community and foster communal cohesion for development is the primary objective of the festival that has been going on for 4 years now. The impact has been great.
There was a time that there is something like a sort of division between us, but these festivals bring people together. It's like we are back together, we are family once again.
If you are talking to the people on certain issues and they have seen it, actually bringing them will not be a problem to you. So this is why we have this thing, because last year finals has also brought the Kabilo together more. So this is why this year when we stage it, it becomes even more successful than last year. And we are happy about that one.
The community was divided into 7 phases, with each section dressed in a colorful cultural attire. Even toddlers here are colorfully dressed to celebrate the annual event, which climax with drumming and dancing. Different sporting activities were staged, from cycling to road race, athletics, a hotly contested tug of war, and musical chair competition. At the end of every event, winners are granted a glowing celebration. The festival attracted a massive turnout, with crowd converging at the SSP Arena to witness the delightful event, which was hailed as a great success by leaders of the different phases, who expressed satisfaction over the whole initiative.
This 2016 elections has bring barriers of so many things. So due to this tournament, everybody is united now. We thank God on that.
It is very crucial in our Kabilo, because you will see that people come together and there is unity always. Because you will see that I can say it establishes love for us, and also it makes our relationship very stronger.
It is important because it brings about unity, it brings about harmony, and even it brings this thing like a peace.
The National Assembly member for the area, Alaji S. Dabo, commended his community for spearheading a successful festival.
It has tremendously helped the community to produce the best talents in terms of football, athletics, and even volleyball. Those games, especially volleyball, are not very popular, but I can tell you, in Daro Hairu, boys and girls can play volleyball. It's as a result of this tournament. If you go to school sports, most of the athletes in the school sports are from this community. All are because of this tournament. Daru produced a very good football team in Brikama, Nawetan, and always produced the best fans club in Brikama, Nawetan, all because of this tournament.
Individual awards were later presented to various winners, and the beautifully attired and vocal Phase 3 was awarded Best Fan Club, as Brikama convenes to promote and celebrate peace through sports.
And now to other news around the world, beginning with the United States, where Joe Biden will take over a country bitterly divided. He has promised some big changes immediately after he takes office, but will he be able to deliver as promised? CGTN has more on some of the challenges awaiting the incoming president.
Things will get worse before they get better. Policy changes that we're going to be making are going to take time.
At 78 years old, Joe Biden is re-entering the political scene during one of the most tumultuous periods in American history, but has his time as a U.S. Senator or tenure as Vice President under Barack Obama prepared him for this. An ongoing pandemic that's left hundreds of thousands of Americans dead and millions sick. This as the U.S. healthcare system struggles to keep pace. The national economy nearly in ruins, businesses going bust, and millions out of work. Frayed relations with allies, increased tension with adversaries, unresolved social upheaval, and an accelerating climate crisis, experts say, warrants calls for a national emergency. Observers say nothing less than a radical reorientation towards all these crises will bring the U.S. back from the brink. But Joe Biden has ambitious plans. to curb the coronavirus pandemic and speed up the vaccine rollout, to reform immigration, to address climate change, and revitalize the economy, starting with a massive $1.9 trillion relief package.
In this moment of crisis, with interest rates at historic lows, we cannot afford inaction. Critical foreign policy.
Whether or not the Biden administration will get as much done as they hope to is an open question. Will Republicans, a divided party in convulsions over Trump, coalesce to obstruct Biden's plans? Will Biden's agenda be progressive enough for Democrats, many of whom say policies that Biden opposes, such as the Green New Deal and Medicare for All, are necessary to meet the challenges ahead? Whatever comes, the next 4 years aren't predicted to go easily for the 46th president, as the battle for the soul of the nation is only just beginning. Brian Dorman, CGTN.
As Nigeria prepares to receive its batch of COVID-19 vaccine slated for this month, it has one more thing to worry about: fake vaccine. The country's national drug regulators says fake COVID-19 vaccine may have been in circulation in the country. Details in this CGTN report.
Inoculation begins, but the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, says people should be on the lookout for fake vaccines.
NAFDAC is pleading with the public to be aware. No COVID vaccines have been approved by NAFDAC. Fake vaccines can cause COVID-like illnesses or other serious diseases that could kill. Please be aware, COVID vaccines should not be ordered by any company or corporation. The companies that manufacture these vaccines, if they are genuine companies, know they have to submit their applications to NAFDAC for review.
Medical experts warn that if urgent steps are not taken to address the problem, the country might be plunged into another public health crisis.
We have to open up our eagle eyes at this time so that we can, apprehend some of these people that are moving around peddling the fake COVID-19 vaccine. That is on the regulatory angle. On the supply angle, we must be able to make adequate plans to ensure that all Nigerians have access to the vaccine. Because without that, I can assure you that more and more people will fall a victim and fall prey to this fake vaccine.
Among COVID-19 vaccine skeptics, the situation has further increased their doubts.
If really it exists, the fear is that there is not enough awareness for people to differentiate between the original and the fake one. That's to say, there is going to be a lot of tragedy with regards to that.
I'm not even seeing the original one.
Dear viewers, that's all we have for you in this edition of Weekday News. But before we go, a quick look at our top stories. U.S. Ambassador to the Gambia, Richard Pascal, has met GRTS Director General to express gratitude for the institution's successful coverage of the U.S. elections. Minister of Petroleum and Energy with partners have begun a nationwide campaign on efficient cooking solutions. In sports, Birkama Daru Hairu has held its annual Unification Festival meant to promote peaceful coexistence. Joe Biden has been sworn in as the 46th President of the United States, taking over from Donald Trump after deeply divided opinions on the U.S. elections. And speculations in Nigeria over the impending introduction of the first batch of COVID-19 vaccine. That's all we have for you. Thanks for your company. Do stay tuned for more interesting programs. Goodbye.